Hello and welcome to the premiere episode. That's right, episode 1 of the Journey to 300. I'm Billy Hoffman, and I'm a dedicated and lifelong bow hunter who's decided to try and score a perfect game in competition archery. Not necessarily indoor or Olympic, just competition archery. And it's not going to be easy, I can tell you that already. I've shot some practice games, more on that in a little bit. But I wanted to see if an average bow hunter, not a great bow hunter, I mean, I'm a pretty good shot, but if an average bow hunter like me, if given the time to train and prepare and also use some different equipment, could score a perfect game just like the big time money shooters do on the competitive tour. So that's where we are. Right now I'm shooting a bow hunter class, which means a 12-inch stabilizer or less, no magnified sights, with my hunting bow that I already had. However, I did make the splurge. I do have a bunch of typical target archery equipment showing up. And I couldn't have done this whole journey without thanking some very, very important companies that have decided to partner with me on this journey. First, we have Expedition Archery. Absolutely in love with their lineup of target bows, and I can't wait to actually own one. I've shot them and drooled over them for years, but I have one in the mail, and I'm pretty excited about that. As a bow hunter, I'm currently and always have been shooting a trigger release, a wrist strap, a command shooter, if you will. I've partnered with Hot Shot Archery. We have some different releases coming, a thumb release. I'm going to run you guys through that, as well as their normal trigger release and the crazy world of the hinge release. So we're going to see if those type of releases improve my scores. And I've always had short stabilizers, whatever came with the bow. However, I'm really excited that Spider Archery Products has decided to join, and I'm going to be rocking a 30-inch bar on the front and a 12-inch bar on the back with a bunch of weights. And I don't know what it's going to do. I may like it, I may hate it, but I'm going to journal the whole situation and talk about it the entire time. Now, that being said, I've also got some really cool local companies that are helping me out. The first is right here, the Land O'Lakes Bowmen, my home archery club. I'm on the board of directors here. I'm very passionate about archery clubs and supporting them, and you should definitely look up your local club and support them too. Of course, I can't forget Sunrise Archery, which, again, talking local, Sunrise is my local pro shop and store. Great staff, great service, absolutely love working with them. And last and not least, I need to thank Gold Tip Arrows. They are providing me with the arrows that I will be shooting on this adventure, because we don't normally, when it comes to competition archery, shoot our hunting arrows. So I'm pretty excited to see how that goes. Let's go inside and shoot a round of practice, and see how we score. So what we're going to be focusing on in this first episode is the FIDA round, or a lot of people call it the Vegas round. It is a FIDA target, which FIDA is now called World Archery, but a lot of people still just call it FIDA. It's a 3-spot target. Depending on the tournament you go to, they may be in this configuration. You can also shoot this as one target, but a lot of times we like to break it up so that we're not hitting our own arrows. Some tournaments will have it 3 in a row vertically. It just depends on who's holding the tournament. But generally, it's the same size target. And where you're shooting and what game you're playing, the scores do make a little bit of a difference. And we're gonna start with this one because I don't know if it's the most popular. I think it is, but it's definitely my favorite. So when you're shooting a Vegas round, we basically have a pretty simple target. The only thing that's a little bit different than what you may be expecting is, let's talk about this little circle right here. This is the X ring. However, it's only worth 10 points. Anything inside this first bullseye is worth 10 points. The reason we count the X's is for tiebreakers. Now again, depending on where you're shooting, some tournaments may actually count that as an 11. But today in Vegas scoring, this is a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. And if you hit the white, you don't get 5, you just get a 0. So we will shoot 3 arrows at a time. You can shoot them in any order. And when you shoot 3 arrows, that's called an end. And we will shoot 10 ends for a total of 30 arrows. 30 times 10 also would be 300 points, hence the journey to 300. Of course, not all tournaments go to 300, but the ones I'm concentrating are certainly do. So a perfect score would be 30 straight arrows inside this ring right here. Now, I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen today, but you never know. All right, that is a great way to start off this game. Took a couple warm-up shots. We're going to start scoring now. Here we have just touching the line is an X. Again, if you touch the line, you get the higher score. This only scores for a 10, but it did touch the X. We got that there. Easily broke the X on this one, and here is just a solid 10. And just like that, the 300 game is gone. We missed a shot here. It's outside of the 10. It's a 9. That's okay though, because we followed that up with an X and with another 10. We can still get a 299. And that's a wrap. Let's go ahead and add up the scores real quick. Definitely was not my best game. Definitely was not my worst game, but this is the way I like to keep score. I'm sure there's better ways of doing it. There are scorecards and stuff when you shoot in leagues and tournaments, but and I know there's some system where you can poke holes in the paper. I just haven't learned that yet, but this works good for me right here. I basically just keep track of the ends and then write down my scores as they go along, and then how many points I lost, which makes it easy. So we got 1, 4, 6, 8, 10, 14, 17, 18. So what I basically then do is do 300 minus 18 gives us our score of 282. Now, of course, we got to add up the X's. Didn't have a bunch of them. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7X. So 282, 7X. I'll take it. It was a good practice round. I missed some shots, but I feel like I know what I did wrong, and it can only go up from here, hopefully. Now, I want to do something kind of fun as well in every episode. Not that shooting the indoor round wasn't fun, but here we are outside at the club, and I'm going to take a long bomb shot. This right here, we're going to shoot a polar bear. It's 71 yards. Of course, I would never take this shot hunting. I'd probably never hunt a polar bear, but again, this isn't necessarily for me what I would consider an ethical shot, especially with this little bit of crosswind we got right now and these gold tip X cutters. They're a pretty fat shaft arrow, and I've got them quad fletched right now, so it'll be interesting to see how if or how the wind affects the shot. So at 71 yards, I'm going to take one shot, and my goal is just to put it in the vitals. Let's see. All right, there we are, all zoomed in. Let's see how we do with the shot. Oh, sounded good. I didn't hear the cardboard smack, so let's go check it out. Right in the 10 ring. All right, that's about gonna wrap up this episode. Episode 1, the premiere episode of the Journey to 300. You watch me shoot the indoor Vegas game, and I clearly have some work to do. In case you're wondering, my worst game ever is like a 243, and my best game ever is a 291. Now that 291, I had 13 X's. I was really feeling it that day. My average is right around 280. So what you saw me shoot today is actually a little bit above my average score. Now I've only probably shot maybe 20 games or so. So I'm still learning the game, still working on the mental and getting the equipment figured out. But with bow hunting gear, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at right now. And again, I do expect the scores to just keep on going up. It's getting a little windy, it's getting a little chilly. I'm gonna go back inside and do another practice game, but thanks again, and we'll see you next time.